February 9th, 2026, episode 625. This is episode 625. Let's go. Of course, I have a few things to share with you guys. Shall we? Ohio man charged with threatening to kill Vice President J.D. Vance.
Now, we're told that Shannon Mather, who is seen in that photo right there, is accused of making a threat to take the life of and inflict bodily harm upon a successor to the presidency in violation of a code there. In the indictment, he allegedly stated, quote, "I am going to find out where he," talking about the vice president, "is going to be and use my M14 automatic gun and kill him," end quote. Mather was arrested by the U.S. Secret Service agents just yesterday on February 6th.
18 U.S. Code 871. Since 1955, it's been illegal to threaten the president and vice president. 70 years, 71 actually. This isn't something that they just cooked up to try to hamper your free speech or whatever violin string you want to play. Okay, you don't like J.D. Vance, you don't like Trump, that's fine. You can voice these opinions 1,000 times a day, 1,000 different ways, but once you issue an actual threat, you're going to jail, and they're going to install a bunch of inappropriate pictures on your hard drive to make sure you get that extended stay. An Ohio man, so we already know off the rip he's not that bright, has been charged with threatening to kill Vice President J.D. Vance and with receiving and distributing child sexual abuse material, which was uncovered during the threat investigation. How convenient with those connections over at Palantir. You think J.D. Vance can't make something out of nothing? Find a threat, find a needle in a haystack, upload a ton of incriminating messages, a couple terabytes to your iCloud or something. According to the Justice Department, Shannon Mather, 33, was arrested Friday by Secret Service agents after he was indicted by a grand jury. Mather allegedly stated, "I'm going to find out where Vance is going to be and use my M14 automatic gun and kill him." It's giving Elmer Fudd. It's just giving some type of Looney Tunes vibe that I can't quite put my finger on it. From December 31st, 2025 to January 21st, 2026, the DOJ alleges Mather possessed and distributed the abuse material, which was uncovered while the agency investigated his alleged threats against Vance. How convenient that you would find a slew of inappropriate photos along with the threats. I'm not saying this guy might really be a perv in real life. I just think it's hilarious.
Popping this up on your screen right here, coming in from Todd Blanche. That is the entire post that we were just reading from. He again said thank you to federal, state, and local partners in working together to bring justice twofold to this depraved individual. Mather made his initial appearance before a U.S. magistrate judge for the Northern District of Ohio yesterday and remains in custody pending a detention hearing set for next week. That is going to be February 11th. Now, if found guilty as charged, Mather faces a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison and a maximum statutory fine of about $250,000 for threatening the life of Vice President Vance. Mather faces a maximum of 20 years in prison and a statutory fine of $250,000 if found guilty of the child sexual photos they are charged as well.
This is just my opinion because I think there are a handful of hitters out there that will take the shot if they're given a shot, if they're given the opportunity. But for the large majority of these nutcases out there, if they were really going to do anything, they wouldn't tell the world first. Going to jail for lip service is insane, but a threat is a threat, and they're going to take it seriously. Just like the last story, these people aren't going to be president and vice president when you get out of prison. You'll have to start all over again and issue an all new threat to the new P and VP. You can hide behind a screen, but you cannot hide from this Department of Justice or farming on his dumbass. Attorney General Pam Bondi said in a statement Friday. Just days earlier, a Maryland man was charged with attempting to murder another Trump administration official, Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vaught. Damn, he's just an accountant. He's a glorified secretary. I guess the way these people think, it doesn't matter who you are or what role you play, whether you're the groundskeeper, you work in a mailroom, all the way up to the POTUS. If you got on that red necktie, if you're on that red necktie side, you're part of the problem. Stinking thinking. Vance and Donald Trump have faced multiple threats since 2024 when the two ran on the Republican presidential ticket. Last month, the Justice Department criminally charged a man who damaged Vance's home in Ohio. And in July 2024, just days after the attempted assassination of then candidate Trump at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, authorities in Florida arrested and charged a man who allegedly made a social media threat against Trump and Vance. Y'all got all this time to threaten these people. Earlier this month, Brian Roof, the man found guilty of attempting to assassinate Trump at Trump International Golf Club. That was hilarious. Just a large mane of blonde hair sticking through a wall of green grass like it wasn't inconspicuous at all. In West Palm Beach, Florida in September 2024 was sentenced to life in prison plus a mandatory additional 7 years for a firearm offense. Of course, I love to hear your thoughts on this. I love to hear your opinions on this. It's not one person or two people that are what's wrong with this country. Two people aren't driving this country into the ground despite what people are thinking. I think it's been a group effort on both sides of the floor, a bipartisan gangbang, if you will, over the course of multiple terms, decades in the making. Who's being elected is the symptom. It's not the root cause. Florida man who threatened to kill Trump with his bare hands sentenced to prison. More prison because he was already in prison.
Breaking news, a Cape Coral man is sentenced to more than 2 years in federal prison for threatening to assassinate President Donald Trump. 32-year-old Christopher Davies sent a letter claiming he had planned a presidential assassination and later told Secret Service agents he wanted to kill President Trump. Davies pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 27 months in prison. The case was investigated by the U.S. Secret Service.
So Christopher Davies was in prison when he issued this threat. Christopher Davies is still in prison because he pulled an armed robbery back in 2017, which got him 15 years. He won't be getting out. He wasn't set to get out until 2032, a real law-abiding patriot. By the time he was set to get out, Trump wouldn't even be president anymore. Hell, Trump probably wouldn't even be alive anymore. Some other patsy would be running the country. Now, writing a letter in prison, then giving it to a prison official is like saying, thank you, sir. May I have another? At this point, I just think people like jail, and this was an easy in. A Florida man who threatened to kill President Donald Trump with his bare hands was sentenced to 27 months in prison. Now, that's federal time, so I wonder, are they going to interrupt his state time and have him do the 27 months, then send him back to finish his state time, or are they going to hit him with that federal time after he finishes his sentence? Either way, the bill comes due. U.S. Attorney Gregory W. Kehoe announced Tuesday, according to court documents, Christopher Davies, 32, of Cape Coral, wrote a letter to an official at the Charlotte Correctional Institution. He wrote a letter to an official at the Charlotte Correctional Institution saying that he had orchestrated the most daring presidential assassination that this country has ever seen. History begs to differ, buddy, and that Donald J. Trump must perish. Now, I might want to wring a few necks every once and again, but I'm not going to write an essay to anybody describing how or when I'm going to do it. Breaking up the monotony of state prison time by mixing in a little federal prison time. Stop going to jail for a president that won't be president when you get out. Trust me, you won't be saving the country. It's still going to be going down the crapper no matter who's in the driver's seat, Democrat or Republican. I think these people know what they're doing, and it's just an easy way to keep three hots in a cot. Davies admitted to writing the letter and explained that he wanted to kill the president while being questioned by a U.S. Secret Service agent. That poor bastard of an agent that had to fly all the way out, come in and look this idiot in the eye and ask him some serious questions. What's interesting about this is why tell anyone? More specifically, why tell law enforcement? People usually find manifestos after the fact, but no one is sending their plans directly to the people that want to stop them. When asked hypothetically what he would do if President Trump was near him, Davies claimed that he would attempt to kill President Trump with his bare hands. A news release said Davies pleaded guilty on October 29th, 2025. Of course, I love to hear your thoughts on this. I love to hear your opinions on this. I think it's extremely important to prosecute these nut jobs, whether they're serious or not, if they're just looking for their 15 minutes of fame. Some people are so one-dimensional that they can sit back and agree with the threatening of a president and his staff because it wasn't the person that they wanted. But when you say it's okay for it to happen to the guy on one side, you're basically saying it's okay to happen to people on both sides. Fun show, fun show, fun show. The music for this episode is from Will B. Alexander. Get your music from Will B. Alexander. I'll leave the contact information down here at the bottom. If you're a producer and you would like to have your music featured on an episode of this podcast, reach out to me on any one of my socials. I'll leave the information up here at the top. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials. Find me wherever you listen or watch your favorite podcast. I am there. That being said, I'm going to wrap this one up, but I'll be sure to talk to you guys very, very soon. Jusqu'à la prochaine fois. Of course, I love to hear your thoughts on this. Of course, I love to hear your opinions on this. It's not one person or two people that are what's wrong with this country. I think it's been a group effort on both sides of the floor, a bipartisan.